Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, sampler reviews, series reviews I would do for a little while. I go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about the stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that, time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. I was almost getting worried that maybe they'd ended this little weird trend that they've been doing, but came back with something new. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super format. I'm going to go where I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering around about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck, and whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm wearing grody work clothes. Typically, when I'm inside the truck and I'm wearing grody work clothes, that means that I was on my way home from work and I found some shit to review for you. That is essentially the case today, albeit I was tipped off on this one. So, I went over there, got off work about an hour ago, and as I was making my way, going home, I knew I wanted to go where I wanted to go to Dunkin, right? Because I'd heard there'd been some new items added to the menu. So, first thing I did was I got their new Boom. This is their Bonfire S'mores frozen coffee. I just got through reviewing that. By the way, these reviews are going to end up on my Dunkin reviews playlist because I have an entire playlist of just Dunkin stuff. But the main thing that I was there for, somebody mentioned it in the comments section. I apologize off the top of my head. I'm a little bit sleep deprived because work and all that stuff and everything. But thank you so much for going over there and bringing this up because, folks, boom, it is from Dunkin. What is this? This is their new hot honey bacon breakfast sandwich. And folks, if you've been watching my videos in 2024, you know what's coming next. Because for whatever reason in 2024, hot honey has just been the thing. It has been this weird trend, and I have reviewed a bunch of stuff that has made use of it as, this flavor additive. Which has prompted me not only to go over there and have an entire hot honey playlist, which is called Hot Honey is the Money, but I also have to do a stupid jingle that I came up with, which I'm a little out of practice, but I believe it goes, Hot Honey 24, we got what you're looking for. And then I go over there and review that because that's a thing that I do. So let's take a look at this. Be interested to see how the hot honey is implemented in this breakfast sandwich. That is some relatively weak-looking bacon, I'm not going to lie. But, okay. It looks like, okay. Looks like this. Ha 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 ha. Maybe. Ha 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 ha. Alright, let's give it a go. Let's get in some hot honey bacon and all that good stuff. Okay. Basically what it is, so alright, you usually don't think like honey and bacon, right? Right. Because you're like a rational human being. But fundamentally, it's not that different from a flavor combination that's actually pretty, common, which is basically like bacon and maple. Right? Like sweet and savory is a thing. Maple and bacon go together. Hell, you even get like brown sugar, bacon, stuff like that. So like it's a thing. Basically what the hot honey is doing is it's basically what maple would be doing just in place of it. So, instead of getting that maple flavor, you're getting a sweet honey flavor. And then, excuse me, then you're also getting that you're getting, like the savoriness, the meatiness, and the saltiness of the bacon. It's not bad. The bacon itself is mid. It's not terrible. Like I mentioned before, when it comes to fast food bacon, I'm usually left extremely unimpressed. This is better bacon than some. Not as good as others. But for being, a one-off breakfast sandwich, I'll give it to it. It has presence. It actually has some bite to it. It's definitely not great bacon or anything, but at the very least, I'll give it some points. Now, the hot honey aspect, like I said, it's kind of acting sort of like, what maple would do. It's adding in that sweetness. But it's also hot honey, so it's got, a little bit of a heat to it. Now, I do want to emphasize that when it comes to like the hot honey thing, right? It's not really all that hot. Like, I've never had anything, I don't think, where I reviewed it, like a hot honey item, where it was really all that spicy. It's just spicier than you would get with honey, and since honey isn't spicy at all, there you go. But there is a little bit of a heat to it. Not a lot, but enough that it is noticeable. And it's a nice element to it. Like, I might go over there and have a little bit of fun with the whole hot honey thing. I do think it's a bit of an odd trend to just erupt and continue as it has, but I'm not hating it either. Like, typically I believe they're using Dave's hot honey, although, I'm sure there's probably other outlets for it. What fucking info Dave has on people, like, there's no way Dave doesn't have, like, a bunch of dossier folders just, squirreled away, which is all kinds of incriminating shit on everybody, because that's the only way this could have happened. But I do like the product, and I think that, its implementation, when done correctly, can be really nice. And in something like this, I have to give it a fair amount of credit, because on the one hand, I'd almost like to see it used on a better breakfast sandwich, because I think it would maybe flourish there a little bit better. But then at the same time, when I think about it, it kind of works perfectly for this, because this is a very, like, at its core, it's a C at best breakfast sandwich. It's fine. The, whole composite of it is okay. The eggs are fine. Eggs from Dunkin aren't ever really that impressive, but they're okay. You've got some cheese. It's not really properly melted, but it has a little flavor to it. If you were to go over there and take the hot honey out of this, it would, again, just a straight C. It would not be really anything of note. Adding in the hot honey gives it a little extra dimension, gives it some other elements that you can kind of, hang your hat on. Is it going to be on the honor roll? Absolutely not. But, like, it takes it from at least a C to a C+. I'm not going to give it a B-, but it at least gives it a C+. It puts it a little bit above average. Again, I think maybe in the right implementation, maybe a little bit better bacon, but I'll give it credit. It's a pretty tasty sandwich for what it is. But what it is ultimately a pretty average fucking breakfast sandwich, if we're being honest. But two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Yeah, you know what? Yes and sure. I think that, I'm guessing it's probably just going to be a limited time item, like pretty much all the hot honey stuff has been. But here's the thing. I would potentially get this again. It wouldn't be a breakthrough breakfast item for me. Like, it's not going to, knock into my, top, like, maybe 3 or 4 that I have. But because it has personality, because it is offering something that no one else quite has. I mean, again, like, the hot honey thing has definitely been a thing, but at least in terms of breakfast sandwiches, this is the only one I can think of off the top of my head. Yeah, I'd maybe get it again. Here and there. Again, not a new favorite, but I do like what they're doing with it. I would like to see the hot honey aspect used on a better breakfast sandwich. I think that would be, I'm sure someone else will get to it eventually, but even as it is, I'm willing to give it to it. And, by that same token, if I'm recommending it, it's nothing you need to go out of your way for. It's not going to be life-affirming, but for being a Dunkin' breakfast sandwich, which admittedly, low bar, but at the very least, it does what it does well. The hot honey adds something tangible to it. it doesn't feel like it's completely wasted, you know. And if you like the hot honey aspect of things, like, it does, you know, put that on display. And then the rest of it is just okay, you know. So again, think C plus, but again, credit where it's due. It is pretty tasty, and if nothing else, like I said, probably going to be a limited time item. Give it a go. But anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your folks. Hope you have yourselves a truly hot honey-tastic rest of your life, because again, hot honey is just the thing. Will it be the same thing in the second half of 2024? Because we have just entered into, at the time I'm doing this, we have just entered into the beginning of July. So we'll see if it, you know, if it carries on, and will it carry on into 2025? I don't know. I don't know how far the dirt that Mike has on everybody else carries over. But final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, here's what I would like you to go out and do. Comment section, hit me up with your suggestions for hot honey appropriate items. I've had hot honey pizzas. I've had fucking hot honey sausages. Like, it's just been a thing, man. But what do you want to see the hot honey used on? You know, because, like, there's definitely so many places. Could you find a way to incorporate it into tacos? Maybe. Might start off war with Mexico, but, you know, I mean, like, you know, maybe they'll like it, end up liking it too if it's really good. I don't know. Probably don't put hot honey on your tacos. I'm not your dad. Do what you want. But yeah, let me know what you think about this whole thing and any ideas that you might have. Hot honey ice cream I've had, and that was some good stuff. So I think there's still places to take it. I'm just saying.